Let's talk about something, alright? So let's do this. The year is 2020, and the next gen console is right in front of our eyes. PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X. But for today I want to talk about PlayStation 5 first. But don't worry, in the next video I will talk about Xbox X Series. So okay, anyway, today we're going to talk about Sony 5th generation or PlayStation 5. Today we're going to talk about the hardware itself, the accessories that they have give us like a controller, headphone, and also PlayStation camera, and of course the games. First, let's talk about the looks of the console itself. Now, the looks of the console itself, it's really interesting for me. They are going for a white color right now because they only went for white, even it's kinda gray for PlayStation 1. And the shape of it is really interesting for me because now PlayStation is always in each of their console from one generation to generation looks very different. I mean, PlayStation 1 to PlayStation 2, nothing look alike. PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, I'm like it keeps the color, but it's totally have different shape. And PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, completely different shape. And then PlayStation 5, they're going with, of course, different shape, even different color. And I think there's some, they finally add some blue LED to look at some kind of bluish of PlayStation itself. And the looks of the hardware from the outside of the PlayStation 5 itself, it's really great. They're doing a really good job at choosing this shape. I mean, like, appreciate it, Sony, appreciate it. So okay, Sony goes with releasing PlayStation 5 in two model, the digital edition one and the standard PlayStation 5. Now the digital is just, it doesn't really have Blu-ray disc, and I guess they should have given us, I don't know, more storage so we can store our games, because well, there's no Blu-ray of course, so we can't really play anything inside of it if it doesn't has a lot of memory inside of it, because we know about how much game costs right now, and of course not only the price of the game but about how big the game is. I'm not going to mention it, just check out Red Dead Redemption 2. That game has a really big storage that we need to store in our computer or console. It's just a pain on the ass. Now I hope Sony does that. But and for the Blu-ray one, yeah, of course it has Blu-ray. The standard edition of course has Blu-ray. So if you have Blu-ray disc, you might want to recommend you to do that. And for the standard edition of PlayStation 5 itself, okay, they divided into two, right? So this is definitely for two types of people, one with good internet and two with shitty internet. Now, if you have a shitty internet, I don't recommend you to buy the digital edition because, well, that sucks. I mean, like, yeah, it's going to take forever. Even though the PlayStation 5 says it's going to download the game faster rather than PlayStation 4, but it's just taking too long. Rather than just buy the game and pop that disc inside of the console, it's a lot easier. The whole point is, so if you have a bad internet, I don't recommend you to buy the digital edition one. Just buy the normal PlayStation 5. And for you guys that don't really use Blu-ray, the Blu-ray player for anything, or you guys don't really care about keeping the disc, and we know the disc is very fragile, and just download every game that you have, I mean, like, digital edition is for you. Now let's go to the inside of the hardware. Now the PlayStation 5 itself claiming with lightning speed, or I mean, I'm just gonna read it first. Harnesses the power of custom CPU, GPU, and SSD with integrated I/O. The rewrite the rules and what a PlayStation console can do. First, they have ultra high speed SSD, which is here said maximize your PlayStation with near instant load time for install PlayStation 5 game. Now, ultra speed SSD, of course, when you're downloading a game, it's going to be a lot faster rather than the PlayStation 4, because we know about how much pain on the ass to download the game from PlayStation 4 rather than the Xbox One. But I'm not going to go into that. And also, I'm pretty sure this is also affect the loading screen when you're playing game. I mean, like, yeah. So in this PlayStation 5, loading screen is not going to be a thing anymore. It's going to be like, I don't know, 0.1 seconds and then boom. I mean, like, they do show the capability of the SSD from Ratchet and the Clank games, you can teleport from one place to place with no single lag or frame rate drop. It's just a continuous gameplay, which is great. I really hope console does that, and it also supports 60 FPS. And also it says right here, integrated I/O. The custom integration of PlayStation 5 console system left creators to pull data from the SSD so quickly, so they can design games in ways they never possible before. So the developer of the games for PlayStation 5, or the one who wants to make games in PlayStation 5, now can do something that was impossible in their previous console, now can be done because about how crazy the SSD is. And also now PlayStation 5 is going to support ray tracing, which means, well, the light reflection is going to be deep. I mean, like, great. Like, I really love ray tracing because damn, that ray tracing is good. Even though ray tracing was just in a PC, if you have a proper card, graphics card for it, you can add ray tracing. But in console, it was sound crazy to have ray tracing. But in PlayStation 5 now they are making it real and adding ray tracing, which is I cannot wait to do what PlayStation can do with this ray tracing. And also they support 4K TV gaming, even though PlayStation 4 already do that, but they just want to bring it up to you, and they say unbelievable vibrant and like range of colors, which is great. And I really love HDR in my gameplay. Great. In the previous console, PlayStation 4, 60 FPS is a rare thing that you get in console. It's usually only for PC gamers, but PlayStation 5 is not like, nah, we can do it. So they also use HDR technology. And now I want to talk about the features. Now, okay, the features that we already know is the backwards compatibility. Now, the backwards compatibility is really great. I really like what Sony decided to do, which means that you can play your PlayStation 4 games on your PlayStation 5, which is kind of dope. Also, PlayStation 5 is going to support expandable storage, but they also give a disclaimer that don't buy an NVMe that without Sony validation, because it might break your console. And yeah, so Sony doesn't really want you to do that. As long as the expandable storage has a Sony validation, I mean, it's great, but don't buy the one that doesn't have Sony validation. It might break your console. Now, okay, moving on from the hardware, now we're going to go to the accessories. Now, the PlayStation 5 provide us, from the trailer, I see that we got of course, the controller and the remote and the wireless headphones, and also PlayStation camera. Now I want to talk about the controller. Now in the trailer they said that it's going to add like the haptic feedback, which mean like it's going to like rumble when you're, let's say you're playing Gran Turismo. Like when you're playing Gran Turismo and you go off track and end up in a sand or in a ground, it's going to kind of rumble because you know it's not smooth, so in the controller it's kind of, and I really love that. The reason why I love console is because they put a lot of effort on making the controller and making it even better every year. Great Sony, great job, great job. And also they add the adaptive trigger, which, well, yeah, we already know, like when you're like, I don't know, driving a car in, like, let's say GTA 5, so, or Need for Speed or other racing games pretty much, so you can feel when you hit the gas or like braking, and every inch of you pulling the trigger, it's going to affect the gameplay. And also it also works in both, like in The Last of Us 2 and Dope. It's just dope. And yeah, they're also built in a microphone arrays, so you don't have to plug your headphones in order to speak, because we already know that it's not comfortable sometimes to use headphone because, you know, sweaty air and stuff. But it's cool, Sony, thank you. There's something I need to talk about the controller. Please make the battery last longer, for the love of God. People already complain a lot about the PlayStation 4 controller because it took a decade to charge it fully. It took like 1 second in order to run out of battery, which is not great. And also they're now using the USB Type C port. And yeah, even though most of Android and I don't know, a lot of stuff right now is using Type C port. Yeah, because it's a lot more common right now. We can charge faster. I think what I see from the controller, they're still adding some kind of LED inside of it. When see right here, yeah, they are also adding the blue LED, but I guess they right now they don't add the unnecessary LED in the front, which is great. Sony, thank for not adding that. Even though yeah, I know that's light is meant for PSVR, but it's just it sucks to be honest. Now also they provide us with the charging station, so you don't really have to plug your PlayStation 5 controller to your PlayStation 5 console to recharge the controller. Now, which is great, so you can just plug your controller to your charging station without actually have to plug it to outlet or something. And yeah, it's just neat. It's just neat. So you can also store your controller, and it's not going to, I don't know, lost somewhere around your couch. I just need to put your controller next to your console, which that look kind of tidy, at least a lot more tidy. And also they provide us with the wireless headset that Sony gave to us. They also say that the PlayStation 5 is going to be 3D audio, which is great, I guess. So they said it's going to be, I don't know, like the surrounding sounds is going to be a lot better, so you can know where your enemies coming from and where the sounds coming from. I think PlayStation 5 want to make it even better, which is great. I mean, like, I really love sounds quality of games. It's really great. But they also provide us with media remote, so we can watch our Blu-ray disc and probably to, I don't know, Netflix and YouTube, so we can play video and watch Netflix from that. I mean, like, I sometimes do that, which is great. Thank you, Sony. Now let's get to the exclusive. Now the exclusive, the Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales. Now this Miles Morales Spider-Man, I'm pretty sure it's the second part about Marvel Spider-Man. I mean, like, I really love Marvel Spider-Man. I can't wait to play as Miles Morales. So the whole story, I think that Miles Morales got beaten in the last PlayStation 4 Marvel Spider-Man, and then I think he now has to save the city and stuff. And I'm not really sure about what happened to Peter Parker, but inside of it. But to be honest, I don't really want to get spoiled, and so do you guys. So anyway, and also this game looks stunning from the trailer. I mean, like, I think the mechanism, I think from the trailer the mechanism looks kind of similar, which is great. I really love the mechanism, the swinging mechanism in Marvel Spider-Man. It's really great. So I just can't wait for it, and I'm pretty sure it's released in I think the same day as PlayStation 5. I think it's of course the exclusive, and I just can't wait for it. And then the next game is Horizon Forbidden West. I mean, like, Horizon Zero Dawn is, I really love that game, like, you know, the hunting part and stuff. Even though I don't really spend too much time on playing that game, so I don't really know about much of the story, but that game in my PlayStation 4 Slim is really great, even though it's not really 30 FPS. So I'm really hoping in PlayStation 5 Horizon Forbidden West is going to be as stunning as PC. And judging from the trailers that they are using, I think almost more or less the same engine, but I think they also add some ray tracing and the texture, they make it a lot better. And yeah, so okay, this game also released on the same day as PlayStation 5 release, so I just can't wait. So if you are a big fan of like future hunting stuff like Horizon Zero Dawn, I mean, Horizon Forbidden West is game for you. Now next is Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. Now this game is, and it's interesting for me. I've never really played this kind of game. I mean, like this cartoony game. I'm pretty sure this game is meant for kids, but I just want to play it for some reason. I mean, like this game really showed the capability of PlayStation 5 SSD. I mean, like from when you're going from one dimension from to another dimension, and also the teleportation part is really great. It's really showing the capability of PlayStation 5 itself. It's just crazy because at least like it does took a lot of SSD to render the game that fast. I'm like, I'm really looking forward to it, and the gameplay I saw it from the trailer is really great. It's more like adventure, third-person shooter, and stuff like that. You know that kind of stuff, which is really great. And I don't really know about the story yet, and also I don't really want to spoil it. I just rather you guys play it first, or actually just wait for someone to make the walkthrough. And is this game worth to buy? Me personally, yes, that game looks stunning, so I really recommend you to buy this game. And then the next game is Gran Turismo 7, everyone's favorite game, Gran Turismo franchise. Now, Gran Turismo, it says that it's going to add the ray tracing itself. I mean, like, every game in PlayStation 5 is going to add ray tracing, but this game is the one that most impeccable stuff is the ray tracing. I mean, like, it makes the game 10 times better. I mean, like, I only watch it from the trailer, and the gameplay trailer itself, it's really great. And also the main menu right now, it looks more like PlayStation 1 Gran Turismo, which is great, but I don't really play Gran Turismo that much. I mean, like, I'm not really a big fan of how do I say that, real racing. I actually prefer, like, I don't know, game like street racing. I'm not sure. It is my own preference. I mean, like, for you guys that love that track racing, this game is for you. I mean, like, I can't say another things. I mean, it's this game is just great. Is this worth your money? Yes, it is. Just go buy it when the PlayStation 5 came out, and just I recommend Gran Turismo 7. Now the next game is Returnal. Now Returnal itself is, I think this is a new franchise that PlayStation 5 want to make. This game is about someone that's trapped inside a planet that have to survive by, yeah, of course, killing of the monster over there and not get killed. This game is pretty much a third-person shooter, and more or less, is it just me, or this game has a similarity with Control? Now, I've been playing Control for a while now, so I just bought it like a week ago, but it's really great. I mean, like, it's like horror, supernatural adventure, third-person kind of game, and yeah, I really want to see this game. It's really interesting for me. And then the next game is Sackboy: A Big Adventure. Now this game is meant for a kid, so if you want your kids to play games in PlayStation 5, I mean, this game is good. I mean, like, the puzzle and the gameplay itself, and also even the game like this has a really great graphic. I mean, I cannot lie. So if you want your children to play in PlayStation 5, this is really recommendable because, well, the puzzle and stuff, it's even for me like that. For me that's not a kids, I also want to play this game. I mean, like, it's just great for me. Now the last thing that I really want to mention is the price, but at the time that I'm making this video, the price is not released yet. So okay, for that's the thing about today's video. So yeah, make sure to also see these guys' videos if you guys interested in PlayStation 5, the gamer and the gamer rank. So they also talk about PlayStation and Xbox One series. So if you want to watch them, click right here. So thank you for watching, and bye.